Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank the Assistant Secretary for coming before the committee. Many of the policies under your portfolio are debated here in D.C. I think there's a widespread recognition that energy efficiency is something that that can be a bipartisan issue. In California, with the buying power of nearly 40 million people, our energy efficiency goals support the notion we could do much more at a federal level. You know, in these meetings, we sometimes get caught up in the law that exists and how to administer it. I would just want to take a minute to ask you if there's ways you think that the Congress could help support more energy efficiency, either by enacting new legislation or by fixing legislation that you're having to deal with. Are there things that you're seeing that we could be doing better to promote energy efficiency?
Well, when it would come to legislative changes, that would need to go through the appropriate process, which unfortunately wouldn't just be me today. But one of the things that I would like to stress is Congress provides robust funding to the Building Technology Office, which does research and development on looking at new building technologies, such as solid-state heating and cooling for next-generation appliances. We will be announcing the funding opportunity from the Building Technology Office for a number of different topics in the next few weeks. And so there is regulatory angle, but then there's also the R&D angle. And I think it's important that we consider both. Off the top of my head, I don't have any statutory changes, but be happy to go back to the department and to work on some ideas.
Well, the reason I'm asking you is that, you know, this is the process for finding out if we need to make legislative changes. You're in a position to observe kind of how the administrative rules that have been set up by prior Congresses and rulemaking are working. So I just want to give you the opportunity, if you see anything that you think needs to be improved or that in any way in which you're restricted from doing what would best serve energy efficiency, I want to give you that chance. And if you don't have that today, that's fine, but I think this is the right place to do it if you have those suggestions for us.
And I will be happy to try to provide some comments in the questions for the record on that. That would.
I appreciate you. I mean, it's sort of a left field question maybe, but I would appreciate you any thoughts on that would be helpful to us.
Sure thing.
I also want to reiterate what Mr. Upton said, is that the integrity of the labeling and the measurements for appliances is going to be very important. There's some discussion of whether we should have market incentives that would encourage consumers on their own to make purchases with energy savings in mind, sort of if a carbon tax would be an appropriate price signal to send through the economy. But if they don't have the right information about those appliances, that's going to be it's not going to be as efficient as theoretically people think of it would be. So again, I appreciate working with you to make sure that those labels are correct and that your information is relied on. It's by the FTC, I guess. Is that right?
Yes, yes. And I know. I mean, I use those labels when I look at when I look at new products and I'm doing, figuring out what to put in our house. I hope they're accurate. I haven't heard that they're not, but it's definitely an area where there could be research. Another part is with the Energy Star labeling program to label the products that are the most energy efficient. We work on that with EPA,
right.
And that labeling has very high adoption and is very much appreciated by consumers.
Since you brought it up, I mean, you don't directly administer it, but do you have comments on the Energy Star program? Do you have a?
Well, we jointly administer it with EPA. I don't have any comments on the on Energy Star today, but.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.